This afternoon I was able to fly this modified Wind Warrior kite. The wind had picked up a little bit as the rainstorm clouds were coming in, and I went to the park to find out how this kite flies now that it's been modified. And I started out, as I did last time, using the standard carbon fiber bow that's supplied with the kite. And with this modification, and in the wind that I was flying in today, which was quite similar to the other day, it was measuring from 0 up to around 7. Once it went a little above 7 while I was watching the gauge. But this time the wind changed directions 3 different times during the hour or so I was flying. So it was a little bit more challenging wind than the other day. But that's not a big issue. I was able to keep the kite airborne much easier with these carbon fiber original bow, and was able to fly the kite for a while. Although it took exaggerated effort, it wasn't nearly the kind of effort required the other day. So having this slight dihedral on the kite with this new fitting, I think that must be the reason why it performed more easily today. It flew more easily. Now, because the wind was light, I also took the same smaller diameter carbon rod bow that I had before. This one is a 0.095 inch diameter bow. The bow supplied with the kite is also carbon fiber, and it's 0.125 inches in diameter, a little bit larger and stiffer. So when I changed the bow, then the kite was relatively easy to fly. And although it still has very strong pull on the line because of its surface area, this new fitting and this very slight dihedral improved my enjoyment of flying the kite. So I think that this is a beneficial change that Wind Warrior has made. Now, I don't have the fiberglass bow that they ship with the kite, but my guess is it probably is similar in flexibility to this smaller diameter bow that I put in. And if that is true, then with the fiberglass bow, this kite will probably fly pretty well in winds of 5+ miles per hour, depending on how much effort a person is willing to expend in keeping it airborne and flying it. When the wind was between around 6 or 7 miles an hour today, it didn't require my effort to keep it airborne, but it did require extremely strong finger pressure in order to maintain control of the flying line and not have it be slipping through my fingers. But it was a much better experience, and I tried to launch the kite from the ground, and again the wind had some downdraft aspect near the ground and just wouldn't allow the kite to flip over and become airborne. So I was unable to do that, but I do think the kite would launch easily if it were just sitting on the ground with its front face on the ground just like it is here. I think by pulling on the line it would just automatically lift up and fly with no problem. But when I put it on the ground, I put it on the ground upside down like this, because often that's how kites land when they're grounding. And so sometimes by gently maneuvering the line you can get enough wind underneath the kite sail to flip it over, and then from there it's easy to launch it. I was unable to flip it over today because of the wind being a little bit downdrafty near the ground. So all in all, I'd say that this change, this update in the construction of the Wind Warrior kite makes it a much more enjoyable kite to fly, and one that more people would enjoy flying, I think. So if you are in the market for a fighter kite that you want to learn how to fly and do not want to make one, go to the Wind Warrior website and take a look. The kite sells for $50, and to me, just looking at the amount of material, the quality of the construction, it's a really, really good value. Now, I mentioned in the prior video on this modified kite in the description that I do not have any affiliation whatsoever with Wind Warrior or anybody that's involved with Wind Warrior. I make this video for one reason. I love flying fighter kites and wished more people did it. And this is just what making the videos that I make is an effort to try to encourage other people to give fighter kiting a try. And since many of my videos are about how to make a fighter kite, and many people have no interest in making a fighter kite, when a kite comes along that can be purchased and it's collapsible, so it comes in a tube, it's real easy to put together and has all the things you need to get started, other than you need flying line, and I would recommend a very large diameter. Maybe crochet thread would work if it's large enough diameter. It comes in different sizes. Or any cotton line that is really easy to grip. That would be my recommendation, because it does pull very hard on the flying line and requires quite a bit of finger strength to maintain reliable control over the flying line. But beyond that, it's very slow in the air, which for a beginner is really important because it gives the kite flyer time to think about what to do next to keep the kite airborne and to get it to do whatever it is you want it to do. It doesn't put the pressure on you like a fast flying kite does. So from that standpoint, the speed of this kite is a real benefit for a beginner.